Hi guys, today I'm going to be doing my February wrap-up. Last month I only read 5 books in total, which is not as many as I had hoped to originally, but I just didn't have a lot of time to read. But I think overall 5 is an okay amount, so let's just get started. So the first book I read in February was Cress by Marissa Meyer, and this is the third book in the Lunar Chronicle series. And this was actually the book that I was most excited to read because recently, right before Cress came out, I finished reading Scarlet, so then I was able to read this right afterwards, so everything was so fresh in my mind and I could still remember everything that happened in the last book. So overall, I really enjoyed this book. I'd give it a 5 out of 5 stars, and I can't wait for Winter, the 4th book in the series, and I think the last one too, to come out soon. I don't know when, but I guess hopefully soon. The next 2 books that I read are part of the same series, and the first book is called Dark Lover, and the second book is called Lover Eternal, and these books are by J.R. Ward, and they're part of the series called the Black Dagger Brotherhood series. And so I've only read the first 2 books, and they're about vampires, but they're not like the traditional, like, I don't know, like Twilight kind of vampires, like sparkling and all that crap. It's actually pretty unique. I think there are 10 books in the series, and I don't know if it's still ongoing or if it's ended with 10 books, but I just know there's a lot of books in the series. But I've only read the first 2 so far, and I both give them 4 out of 5. And the nice thing about this series is that kind of like instead of like the same story continuing on through all like these different books, each story is about a different character, because the book is about like a band of like vampires who are in this brotherhood. So each story is about a different brother, and they all have a really different and unique story. So it was very enjoyable to read. And if you like these kind of like vampire books and you want something new, I think these were published like 10 years ago or something, like the first one, but it's still, you know, really nice, like really enjoyable. And just a warning, it has mature content, so if you don't like that, don't read, but if you do, just go ahead and give it a try. I finally got around to reading Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas. This book is really talked about on BookTube and on, I guess, Goodreads in general. Like, it has really good ratings. So I was finally excited to be able to read it, and I really enjoyed it. I'd give it a 5 out of 5 stars. It had a lot of action and a little bit of romance, which was nice, and so it kept me engaged throughout the whole book. So I highly recommend everyone try this out, because you guys will really enjoy this series, and I can't wait to read the next book. And the last book that I read in February was Siege and Storm by Leigh Bardugo, which is the second book in the Grisha trilogy, and I read the first book, Shadow and Bone, back in January, and I really enjoyed it. And I also really enjoyed Siege and Storm, but however, I enjoyed it a little less than Shadow and Bone. I think that's partly because due to the plot, because I thought it was slower and not as exciting, but that's because the plot was just like made that way. So if you read it, you probably know what I'm talking about, but it was still really enjoyable overall, so I give it a 4.5 stars out of 5, and I can't wait for the third book, Ruin and Rising, which I think is coming out in June, I think, or yeah, June or September, I think it's June, but yeah, I can't wait for the last book. Alright, now moving on to my March to be read list. I actually don't have that many books planned out for this month, because last month I planned out like a long list and I didn't even get to like half of them. So this time I'm only going to list out maybe like 4 or 5, and hopefully I'll be able to read them all. So the first book is Sweet Thing by Renee Carlino, and this I heard about through Hannah from Bookworms Talk, and she really enjoyed it, and so I decided to check it out. It has really good ratings on Goodreads, so hopefully I'll enjoy it. I don't really know what this is about. I just know that, like here on the back it says, a heartbreaking and romantic debut, Sweet Thing explores the intensity and complexities of first love and self-discovery. So it sounds really intense, but hopefully I'll enjoy it. Next, I want to read Half Bad by Sally Green, and this book just came out recently, and it has a lot of hype on BookTube and Goodreads, and this is about a book about witches, and like bad witches, good witches, and hence the name Half Bad. So this is about a 17-year-old boy named Nathan who is both like half good, half bad, and he's trying to escape from his captors while trying to receive these 3 gifts that are supposed to give him all his powers. So it sounds really like action-packed and intense, so hopefully I'll enjoy this. So the last 2 books that I want to read are The Archived and The Unbound by Victoria Schwab, and as you can tell, they're part of the same series. And I heard about this through Jesse the Reader because he really likes it, and I know tons of other people do too. And again, I don't really know too much about it. I just know it's like a place, it's like about a girl and how she's like in charge of like, I guess, keeping all the like the dead people who are archived in the library, I guess, or some sort. I don't really know, to be honest. I haven't read the blurb or anything, but it seems interesting. So hopefully I'll have time this month to read these 2. So that's it for my February wrap-up and my March to be read. Let me know in the comments down below if you've read any of these books or are planning to and what you want to read for this month. And that's about it. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching.